Hello, hello, hello! I am so stoked that you are here for today's episode because we are talking about money objections. If we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Jen Casey. I'm a business strategy and NLP coach, and I work with online coaches who want to turn their social media into sales and build profitable online coaching businesses. Yes, the dreaded money objections. What to do if you're getting them, and really looking at why you're getting them, because you might be taking on a lot of responsibility. So we're going to unbox what really is motivating all the objections, and specifically money objections, that you are getting in your business that's preventing you from making the impact, income, and having the influence that you want to have in your business. So why are we getting money objections? Well, okay, Katie says 7. So the first piece here, there's 3 sides to why you would get an objection of any kind. The first side is they don't believe in you. They don't believe in you. They don't know you enough yet. You don't have that know, like, and trust. You might have a really great offer, a great promise, but they don't know you well enough. So they don't know you. The second side of this little, I see it as like a little triangle. I love my framework. So the second side of it is they don't believe in what you're offering, which simply means you have not clearly communicated the transformation that you are going to be providing for them. So they're just like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if it's going to work for me. So they don't believe in you. They don't believe in the transformation. And then the third side, and this is where most marketers don't really spend time working through this, is the client doesn't believe in themselves. So you see all these marketers all the time, they're getting in front of the camera, they're doing the whole know, like, and trust thing, they're relatable, they're funny, they're great people, and they are putting out amazing, incredible offers, they're sharing these great transformations, and they're still getting objections. They're like, what am I doing wrong? Well, it's because you're not addressing the area that is actually preventing people from buying, which is they don't believe in themselves. And so in a lot of what I teach, it's really about creating content that has that built in. And there's some specific structures and ways that we go about this, but I want to share some of the bigger picture of this with you today. So we want to look a little bit deeper into this, because a lot of times they're not about money, but oftentimes they are for that person. That person believes that it's about money. And so a question that I will ask people if they say, I just can't financially make this jump right now, I like to ask them, well, if money wasn't part of the equation, would you be ready to jump in now? And that question right there is going to give you more clarity around, like, yes, I would jump in right now. It is 100% about the money. Or, well, actually, I've got these 6 other questions about what you're offering that I need clarity around also. Because it's really easy. It's an easy out for somebody to just say, I have to ask my husband, or I don't have the money. And of course, sometimes those are true. Sometimes those are that individual's reality. But a lot of times they are not. So one of the things that we want to look at is that investing in yourself, especially for someone that's never done it before, can be really flippin' scary. It can be really scary. I know for myself, I've invested, and I share this with you only because it's relevant, I've invested over 6 figures into my personal growth with mentors, masterminds, coaches, you name it, live events in the last 18 months. So and I'll tell you right now, a couple years ago, never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I would invest that aggressively into my business and my growth. But I'm growing faster. And so everything that I learn, I'm able to pour back into my community and get a 5 times ROI. That's how I see it, 10 times ROI. The more I grow, the more the business grows. But in the beginning, I didn't see it that way. In the beginning, I only had, a few $100 to my name in my savings account, and that was all the money that I had. And so when I was pushed up against a wall, had to make a decision about investing, I just remember the first time I invested big in myself, I thought I was going to throw up. I knew I was going to have to work, overtime to cover the cost of this program that I wanted. And I just decided that it was worth it. And I, quote unquote, didn't have the money in my mind, but I did have the money in savings. It was just all the money that I had left. And to me, that was a scary leap. But what I did was I made a commitment to get my ROI. I made a commitment. And I remember I thought I was going to pee my pants. I thought I was going to throw up. I ripped through that program, and guess what happened? I didn't get my ROI right away. I didn't. I'm just being honest with you. I remember I let that information sit in my mind for 6 months. I saw my business continue to not grow. And then I finally said, Jen, what are you doing? Why are you not implementing this? Because that felt scary too. It felt scary to change. It felt scary to do something and show up in my business in a different way. Because I wasn't there mentally, right? I still had a lot of fear around being visible. A lot of fear around putting myself out there on social media as an expert. And so I hid a little bit. I was like, I bought the program, but I hid. And that's something that happens for people too. And that's why I've had a lot of ladies reach out to me about joining Pitch to Your Niche recently. And they've said, Jen, I failed at programs in the past, quote unquote failed, or I haven't finished them in the past. So how do I know this will be different? And I don't know it'll be different for you. You just need to decide that for yourself. Like, you can join Weight Watchers, you can pay the monthly fee, but if you don't show up and do the work, you're not going to get the result. Spending the money is a great up level, and it gets you that first high. It gets you that first hit of, wow, I have just made a decision to bet on me. And that is the most powerful thing that you can do, and no one can ever take that away from you. If you're playing the slots in life, you just invested in you for you to grow. Like, that's the best investment that anyone can make is in themselves. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're in a place right now where you've invested before and you didn't follow through, or you've never invested before and you just, whether it's with a course, a program, some kind of educational piece that you know you need that's going to get you to the other side of the transformation that you want in your life, health, wellness, relationship, business, then you've just got to do it. Like, I'm just like, jump, jump, jump. Now, that's not enough for some people. Some people go, yeah, Jen, but I feel like I'm going to vomit. I feel like I'm going to pee my pants. What do I do? I'm like, listen, that's normal. That's totally normal. Why? Because you've never done it before. You are betting on yourself. You're making a powerful declaration, not only to yourself, but to everyone that you know, and most importantly to the universe, that you are doing the damn thing. And that can feel really scary. And so most people, most unsuccessful people, I should say, here's what they do instead. And listen, I can only speak to this because I've done it time after time after time after time, and I don't do it anymore. What we do when we are afraid of change, afraid of betting on ourselves, is we find ourselves in a situation. I know I was working as a waitress and bartender. I made so many excuses. I'm like, well, it's close to where I live. I already have seniority. I already know how everything works here. It's comfortable. I don't love the people that I work with, but like, I at least know what I'm getting myself into. So it was like, found comfort in the parts of it that I hated. Totally warped, because you can literally talk yourself in or out of anything. I could talk myself out of eating a cheeseburger, even though it might be my favorite food if I think about it for too long. When we look at the cycle of change, right? I went through phases where I would be at my waitress and bartending job in particular. I would feel that satiation of like, I know I'm meant for more. I would see something online, somebody that was part of my community would share something, and I was just like, oh, I just don't want to work like this anymore. Like, I want more for myself. And then I would get dissatisfied. Like, something would happen at work and it would just really piss me off. And I was like, I'm not happy here. This is not enough. Like, I know I have a bigger purpose. And that would build. And then you would hit that threshold where you're like, I'm done. I'm over it. And then you go, shit, now what? Okay, I hit my threshold. I'm mad about it. And like, use that emotion to take action. But most people don't. Most people get to that threshold. They see the doors open. They have that moment of insight, like, there's more for me out there. And instead of stepping through, they wait. They wait. And then they talk to other people in their life who don't see their vision, who don't know what they are about. And what happens? What happens? They lose all of that momentum and energy. And they start back at stage one. They go back to satiation. And on April 20th of 2014, I declared to myself in the world that I was going to quit my bartending job to double down and go all in betting on me in my online business. What happened? The satiation, the dissatisfaction, it was all building up. And I walked into my work on Easter. There were no tables for me to serve. And I asked my manager if I could go home and spend time with my family. And he looked at me and said, if you have nothing to do, why don't you go scrub the base of the bar? I thought he was joking. When I tell you my blood was boiling, I had a lump in my throat. Not only did I feel completely disrespected, but I felt completely disposable. And I remember I went in the bathroom, I stood up against the wall with the tile on it, and I just cried. Not frustrated tears like I would often do when I would go in the bathroom there, because I felt like the walls were caving in. But I cried because I knew in that moment that I was done. I knew in that moment that I was done. And 2 days later I went in and I gave my 2 weeks notice. And a different manager was there, really nice guy, and he had had a lot of struggles in his life. And he said, Jen, it's really cool that you're doing this, but what about staying a little bit longer? Do you have enough money saved up to take this jump? What if you just, stay into the summer? Stay into the summer, you'll make money, and then you can really jump. He said that to me while simultaneously also saying to me, I wish I could leave. I've been part of this company for 17 years. I wish I could do that. I wish I could walk away. And so from a place of total love, he almost projected his fear and his limitation onto me. And had I taken that crumb, had I allowed my fear of going out on my own to take over that moment, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Because the longer that you wait to make a decision in your life, statistically, the less likely you are to do it. So I remember that moment of betting on me. And from there out, it was all about what courses do I need? What programs do I need? And I didn't always quote unquote have the money. I didn't really have a ton of income because I didn't have the clients. But I figured out how to get the money. I always did, and I always paid it back. Because that was my mentality, that was my commitment. Once you set a standard, I don't set a goal when it comes to money. I have a standard. When my standards were raised, my entire life changed. So you need to raise your standards. Because right now, if your standard is just getting by, barely paying your bills, what do you actually want in your life? What do you actually want to create? So I'm sharing this with you because I know what it feels like to jump when you don't see the net. I know what it feels like to jump when you don't, quote unquote, have the money. And I say quote unquote because I know that when you shift the way that you perceive the world, money comes to you. Because I've had it happen to me again and again and again and again and again. And I wanted to share this too because I talk to so many coaches who are newer in their businesses, or they're just not getting clients and they've been in it for a while and they're stuck and they're struggling. And they're saying, well, I'll spend the money on myself when I get the clients. And that's such a backwards way of looking at investing in yourself for a few reasons. One, I truly believe in coming from a place of 110% integrity. And you cannot ask your people, your clients, to do something that you haven't done yourself. You cannot ask people to invest in themselves when you haven't invested in yourself. Your money blueprint, energetically, if you're seeing other people come to you with the same money blueprints, that's your mirror. That's showing you where you're at with money. Okay? And maybe you're like, oh, snap, Jen, that makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Right? Because vibrationally, if you look at the law of vibration, the law of attraction, you are attracting people to you who are like you, who vibrate with you. And so if you're kind of in this weird place, in this weird relationship with money, you're going to attract people who are also in a weird place with money. And so if you're constantly bringing people in to your community who are inboxing you all day long, who want things for free, well, are you also doing that when it comes to your business? Are you getting annoyed that people want health coaching for free, but then you're expecting business coaching for free? Listen. You guys came for it today. You're watching this for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. So one of the things that I talk to a lot of my clients about is that we cannot solve, and this is Albert Einstein, you cannot solve a problem at the level of consciousness in which it was created. You cannot solve a problem from the level of consciousness that it was created. And when we talk about levels of consciousness, think about it even through the lens of your emotional state. When you're in a negative state, when you're feeling depressed, powerless, in a state of survival, are you like, yes, girl, let's take action? No. Because when you're in a survival state, when you're in a powerless state, when you're feeling depressed, everything's a problem. Everything's a problem. So in order to get out of the problem or find a solution, so long as you want a solution and you're not just there to complain, if you want a solution, you've got to change something. And change can only happen in two ways, internally and externally. So either internally, you elevate your level of consciousness, which most people are like, what does that even mean? So the other option is externally, having somebody else come in and be that objective eye on you, on your business, on your relationship, and show you the blind spots that you didn't know you had. Because there's things that we know, there's things we don't know, and things we didn't know we didn't know. And it's that area, those blind spots, that are keeping you stuck. You are the bottleneck in your business right now. You are what's keeping you stuck. And so if you want to grow, it's not just about getting the next cool, big strategy. Oh, I'm going to go, webinars didn't work, so let me go do, email marketing. What email marketing didn't work? Like, forget jumping around from strategy to strategy. If you don't believe you're going to be successful, if you don't believe what you have is valuable, if you don't believe you're worthy of all of the abundance that is coming to you, it's like turning the sink off. Like, it's like a faucet. You can either be tapped into the abundance is always flowing, but if you decide to keep it shut off, that's on you. So when we're in a negative state, the tap's off. Tap's turned off. And so when people say to me things like, or clients come to me and go, how do I deal with this objection? This is the objection that I got. People say, I can't invest this time, or I can't invest this round, or I'm not going to join your Beachbody Challenge group this month because I don't have the money. Or if you're a business coach like me, they'll say, I'm not making money in my business. I'll jump in next time. And it's so funny to me because it's like, well, if you can't afford it now and the systems and strategies that you're using now are exactly what's holding you back and keeping you broke, how are you going to have more money in 6 months when we launch again? Won't you be in a worse financial position? Won't you be more burnt out, having wasted all of this time, money, energy, and effort, not building your audience, not closing sales, not refining your skill set in sales and marketing? So I realized that for a lot of us, we look at buying a course or program or hiring a coach as a price, as a what's the cost? But the reality is it's not a price. It's not like buying a steak, you eat it, steak is gone. Coaching, education has a return on its investment because as you start to refine and implement and take action on what you're learning, the potential income that you get back, it doubles over time and triples over time and quadruples over time. So when I talk to people about this, I'm like, well, what would happen? They're like, I can't afford it because I'm not making money in my business now. Well, based on the systems and strategies that you have in your business today, you said you wanted to get 15 new business builders on your Beachbody team. You said you wanted to create a 6-figure business, have a 6-figure launch. You said you wanted to launch a 5-figure challenge and sign on 30 new clients. Well, based on the systems and strategies you have today, are you going to be able to get there and get there easily in the next 6 months? 9.99999 out of 10 times people go, no, or probably not. Okay, well, then what are you waiting for? Like, to me, like, it seems pretty obvious, right? I'm like, okay, well, if you had the right systems and strategies and community and mentorship and step by step to get you to that end result, do you think you'd be able to do it in 6 months? They're like, absolutely, of course I would. I'm like, well, dude, hello. So you're telling me that by the end of this 30 days, you're going to have an ROI. They're like, yeah, I would definitely be able to make like $500 this month. I'm like, girl, you just doubled your first payment plan. Like you just doubled what you were going to invest in 30 days. So riddle me that. But here's the thing. Most average people, and I don't want to say average, like most everyday people, because of how our school system is set up, we are not taught to think about money in this way. As entrepreneurs, we have to look at work and money and investing in a completely different way. We have a different lens for it. And so when people tell me that they're not going to be able to achieve those goals, like I said, I'm like, so with the support and guidance, what is possible? And without it, what is it actually costing you? What is not taking action costing you? Beyond it's costing you months of revenue, months of you being able to master things that will work, and oh yeah, your time, that thing you never get back. Like time is a thing you never get back. So why are you wasting time when you could be saving time, saving money, getting better results, getting more income? You've got to think about it that way. And on top of that, every time you make a decision, you're saying yes to something. Most people go, oh, well, I just didn't invest in myself this month, so no big deal. I just said no. Nope. No. We're always saying yes to something. And when it comes to sales, you are either saying yes to possibility or yes to limitation. You are always buying into a story. You are either buying into your limiting beliefs or you are buying into potential. You are either buying into playing small or you are buying into the next level version of you. You are always saying yes to something. And so when you think about it that way, it changes the way that you look at this because it forces you to take responsibility for your answer. You can't just shrug it off. Not deciding is a decision. Staying on the fence is a decision. It might not feel like a decision, but it's a decision. It is that black or white. You either said yes to your potential, yes to your possibility, or you said yes to staying where you are. You've got to ask yourself, where do you want to be in the next month, in the next 6 months? Where do you want to be in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Do you want to be in a place where you look at yourself in the mirror in 20 years, your face looks a little different, maybe you've got some more grays, a few more wrinkles around your eyes. When you look in the mirror at yourself 20 years from now, what do you want to be saying to yourself? Do you want to be saying to yourself, I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for you because 20 years ago you decided to make a life-changing decision? Or do you want to look in the mirror at yourself and say, I wish we took action. I wish we did something. I wish I didn't put it off again. I wish there was more time. I wish I didn't spend the last 20 years hoping and wishing and watching other people build my dream. Do what I knew was in my gut that I could be doing. What will you say to yourself? The power is in your hands. You can't go and change the past. You can't change the past. With every single moment of every single day, you are able to start again. You are able to start again. You are able to make a new decision. Too many people are making decisions and setting goals based on past versions of themselves. I've had conversations with so many brilliant women just in the last week who are saying, I wish that I could create, a 6-figure business. I wish that I could hit XYZ rank in my network marketing company. But Jen, I've just failed so many times before. And my answer to them is, good. I'm glad that you didn't achieve it then. Because I bet now, today, you have so much more knowledge around what didn't work. So you don't have to make those mistakes again. Once we make a mistake and we learn that lesson, we don't make it again. And I said, you need to stop operating from an old version of you, because today, right now, you are a different version of you. You are a smarter version of you. You're a more experienced version of you. And you're a version of you that gets to make a new decision. You are in a different place, in a different mindset, with a different skill set, with a different understanding of what you wanted back then a year ago when things, quote unquote, didn't work out the way you wanted. But instead of seeing your past as your potential limitation, you need to reframe that and see it as that is all the things that have happened in your past that didn't work out. Those are all the things that are actually guiding you towards your purpose. There's a reason that they didn't work out when they happened. There's a reason. One of my favorite stories, and I remember early on in my coaching career, hearing Mike Dooley. I don't know if you guys know him. He's the guy who writes Notes from the Universe. He's taught me so much about the law of attraction and mindset. And he shared how he ended up getting his first program out there. And this is what happened. He had a t-shirt line with his family, his brother and mom. And his brother would design them and he would write the quotes for them. And that business didn't go so well. But it was called Totally Unique T-Shirts, tut.com. So they bought the domain and they had these t-shirts. And so he wanted to liquidate and get rid of the rest of the shirts. And so he decided to set things up online so that he could be credit card enabled, because back then it wasn't as easy as it is today. You had to actually go through a process. So he was set up for that. And he had started building an email list because he just wanted to share his thoughts. A couple of his friends had gotten into e-cards and he was late to the party and e-cards were kind of over by the time he got there. They weren't really profitable, but he had this email list now and he started sending them notes from Mike every day. And then he decided to change it to Notes from the Universe. So he had this email list. He sent out something to his email list about buying these shirts and he positioned it as Universe Survival Kits. He's like, I maxed out at all 30 people on my email list. So now he had this email list. He had a website. He had people listening. He was credit card enabled. And he also was part of Toastmasters. Now, those are all on paper failures, things that didn't work for him. And then he decided to go to Toastmasters, learn how to start speaking. And so when you go to Toastmasters, they give you a set of 12 different things that you can speak about. And they give you different structure. Like one is like an 8-minute thing with a PowerPoint. The first one is, you share a little bit about who you are, and it teaches you how to develop in-person speeches and how to be a speaker. And so he went for a year. He completed all 12, which not everybody does. And there was a guy in Toastmasters with him, I believe, a friend of his, and said, hey, we should create a course together. An audio program is what they were actually putting out there on CDs. And so Mike said, okay. They put it together. He sent it out to his email list. They sold several $1,000s pre-sold, and they were going to send a new audio out every 12 months. They pre-sold a bunch, except Mike was the only one that sold any. The other guy didn't make a single sale for them, and he said, listen, I can't take half of this. You were the one that actually did all the sales, so you should just do this yourself. And he said, oh my God, what do? I'm going to do this myself now? No, I have all these people who have pre-bought this product, and I haven't even created it yet. And then he said, but wait. I have 12 months of content that I've been creating. And so he took that content, reformatted it, and that is what became his first audio program. One that I had listened to many, many times over. So when I heard him share that story, it sparked something in me, and this was back when I was doing network marketing, and I thought, wow, I spent years in network marketing, learning online business, online marketing, took courses, trainings. I spent years on stage performing as a musical theater performer, studying Shakespeare, going to voice trainings, private voice lessons every single week for 10 years, investing in conservatory trainings, going to school and getting a degree in psychology. All of this stuff that I had done, all of these events that I had invested in, and I was like, well, what do I do with all of this? And then it clicked. It was like, oh, I need to step forward as a business coach. That's my passion. That's what I actually love teaching and podcasting and doing all of these things with video. When I first started as a business coach, I was teaching people how to sell on video because that was my area of expertise. Sales on video. I was like, well, I've had more on camera and acting training than probably most people in the entrepreneur space and voice training. And so I was incorporating that into what I was teaching. So you never know what your quote unquote failures are actually leading you to. Mike Dooley is his name. Where is it? He has a book. He has multiple books. One of them is Manifesting Change. And then the audio program, that's an audio program. And then he also has Infinite Possibilities is his first one. That was his 12 audios. And they're great. So I share this with you guys because a lot of times we're looking at our past and allowing that to dictate, or rather our perception of the past, our perception of failures, we're allowing that to dictate how we choose to show up in the future. And so if you are operating from the mindset of, well, I can't have this and I can't do this because I've never had it or done it before, well, how does anybody achieve anything then? If we can only do what we've always done, then we can't ever have growth and expansion. So how then do we have growth and expansion? We have to do things, try things that don't make any sense sometimes, that feel uncomfortable, that make us want to throw up a little bit. Because that's the only way we grow. And people, oftentimes, growth looks sexy, like, ooh, personal development, yes. But then we actually sit down to do the work and challenge yourself and have to get on that first live video and you're like, oh my God, I'm sweating. Shit, when I did my first live video, I had like paper towels under my armpits. I was blotting my face 50 times. I was rehearsing and practicing and I didn't know what I was saying. And I've done probably like over 200 live videos since my very first one on at least Facebook. And I did a bunch on Periscope before that. Probably a lot more than that actually. But, you know, that's why. Like I had to take that first step. I had to be uncomfortable and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I know that's why you're in this coaching space. I know that's why you're listening to this right now because you also have that same level of commitment to being uncomfortable. And part of that is also learning how to shift your mindset around what it means to be successful, shifting your mindset around what it means to be a failure, shifting your mindset around how to invest, what money means to you. And so if you guys are game, I would love to share some new mantras that you can use that will, through repetition, help you to rewire new neural pathways in your brain and build new belief systems. Because right now you may have some belief systems around money that it's hard to come by, that it's scarce, that you got to save all of it. Money doesn't grow on trees. These are things that a lot of people have. These are generational belief systems. Do you guys have any of those? Like if you think about your parents and your grandparents' beliefs about money, really challenge that and look at how many of those have you taken on, have you adopted. People with money are greedy. People with money are those people. Successful people are those people. So what would happen if you decided to let go of the things that weren't actually yours or your parents' or your grandparents' beliefs and create your own? Create ones, and you know if they're the quote unquote right beliefs for you, if you feel good butterflies when you say them, when it feels expansive and aligned. When I say certain beliefs that I'm going to share with you right now, I literally get goosebumps all over my body. And that's my sign. That's my note from the universe that I'm in alignment with my highest self, with my inner being, with my source energy. So some of the beliefs that I really love to share and say is, I am becoming wildly wealthy just for being me. Money flows to me effortlessly. Money loves me and I love money. I love spending time with money. Money creates the most beautiful, magical experiences in my life. Money provides me with beautiful luxury and surprises. With money, we are able to serve, heal, and grow together. My clients love giving me money. My clients get so excited to pay in full. I am an abundant, wealthy, grateful person. And I'm grateful for all that I have now and all that is already on its way. Money appears and comes to me in ways that I can and cannot and could not explain or plan or anticipate. Money is the most beautiful exchange of energy. Money is abundant. Money is abundance. I am abundance. Money is me. Money is an energetic exchange for what I love. My wealth and value is growing every moment of every day in every way. I speak about money with excitement. I am so grateful for money. Every time I thank money, more comes to me. I love to be around money. It is safe to love money. So how do those feel? And I encourage you to come up with some of your own. Really step into that, because when you write it down on paper yourself, it's really coming from you. So I encourage you to do that. And hopefully this today was, I know we went through a lot of different things, but hopefully today this was a powerful reminder to you that expansion and growth and money and declaring what you actually want to the universe is all within your power. And anyone who tells you otherwise probably doesn't have a whole lot of success in their life. Like, let's stop taking advice from people who don't run businesses. I'm talking about business advice. Like, don't take business advice from somebody who doesn't have a more successful business. Let's stop taking life advice from unhappy people. Let's stop taking health advice from unhealthy people. And whatever you are hearing in the world, it's all for your consideration. It's all for your consideration. So you can try all of these different beliefs and all of these different things that I've shared with you today on for size. And if it resonates for you, great. If it doesn't resonate for you, great. If it challenges you, triggers you, maybe you don't like it. Maybe you're like, why did this trigger me? Well, good. That's something for you to look at too. Why did it trigger you? What are we bumping up against? So that is what I have for you today. Just a quick recap. When people are giving you money objections, it's because of one of three things. Either they don't believe in you as the coach, they don't have enough know, like, and trust with you or your brand. They don't believe in the process yet that you're sharing, so they don't have a clear understanding of their transformation that they are going to get from working with you, and they don't believe in themselves. And that right there is really what we talked about today to help give you a better understanding of some mental shifts that you can make in your own life and business, and some things that you can potentially share with clients of yours when they are feeling like they don't believe in themselves. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this was powerful for you. If it was, hit the share button, tag a friend below, pass this on to somebody who needs to hear this today, who needs a little bit of a kick in the pants. We all need a good kick in the pants every now and again. So share this out with somebody. And if you guys are not already subscribed to the Inner Boss podcast, you can head to iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all of the places, and go ahead and check it out. We've got some incredible podcasts already up on there. We've got over like 150 episodes we just passed, and we've got even more coming down the line. They're incredible. I know you're going to love these guests that we've got coming on through the rest of the summer. So I'm excited for you guys to check it out, and I'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.